Good afternoon, my name is Seth Lewis, and today I'll be verbally conducting a case analysis of Merck, open for innovation. There will be numerous specific topics that I'll be covering today. The key problems and issues, the external and internal analysis, a business level strategy, a corporate level strategy, a firm performance, 3 alternatives, and a recommendation. Just a little background of Merck. Merck is a global research-driven company that develops innovative products to improve health. And in 1989, Merck was named top 10 most valuable company and by Fortune magazine named most admired firm. Following Merck's great successes, they were faced with a series of issues. They were unable to replicate their successes in the past 2 decades. Their revenue was falling considerably due to the lowered sales of Fosamax and Zocor. And also they were falling with a lawsuit of Johnson & Johnson where they had to pay $500 million in result from the reverse merger of Schering and Plough. Investors deemed this financial loss as a positive resolution. To add salt to the wounds, Merck also had 3 key product patents expiring within the next few years. Now I will discuss the key problem. The key problem occurred when Merck's newly appointed Chief Strategy Officer, Dr. Turner, devised a winning strategy for the company's future. The company invested $1 billion in this new drug called Vioxx. Now, Vioxx was very successful at first, but then later caused controversy over the medical community because there was allegations that it caused heart attacks and strokes. The controversy tarnished Merck's spotless reputation. Merck then decided to recall the drug, and it dropped the stock price overnight, eradicating $27 billion in market value virtually overnight. This strategy led to the largest drug recall in history. Merck has also been burdened with over $30 billion in lawsuits stemming from Vioxx. And now that I've covered the key problem, I will now discuss the external analysis. As you can see here, this shows the Porter's 5 forces of Merck, including the threat of new entrants, the buyer's bargaining power, the supplier's bargaining power, the threat of substitutes, and rivalry among competitors. As you can see, the threat of new entrants is low because of government restrictions and high capital costs. The bargaining power of the buyer is also low because the buyer purchases small quantities and they really don't have much say in what the price is. Bargaining power of the supplier is low because Merck is the supplier and only the scientists that develop have any say-so. The threat of substitutes is high because the substitutes offer a high trade-off, and the consumer could either choose a home remedy or they could choose to not use the drug at all, and the switching cost is low. Rivalry among competitors is high because the competition is very fierce, there's many competitors, and the market is very dispersed. Now that we covered the external, let's dive into the internal analysis. Merck has 2 key resources that really develop their strengths. Those are financial assets and brand image. Now, the financial assets consist of over $9.3 million in cash. This gives them a competitive advantage over new entrants competitors. Now, this could be sustainable if Merck implements their strategies in the correct way. It could result in monetary gains for the future. Now, Merck's brand name is also established. They were formerly known as the Harvard of Pharma. Now, their brand name is sustainable and it shall continue to grow if they implement their strategies correctly as well. Recent mergers have strengthened Merck competitively. Although Merck is very strong, they display some weaknesses as well as some vulnerabilities. Their product patents are key to their successes, and they have 3 key products patents expiring within the next few years. They are also faced with lawsuits of over $30 billion, as previously stated in the issues section, that has really caused a lot of problems. And now that we covered the internal analysis, now we will discuss the business level strategy of Merck. Merck's business level strategy favors differentiation rather than cost leadership. The goal of differentiation strategy is usually to increase the perceived value of goods and services. The customer will pay a higher price for the additional features. The products of Merck are generally differentiated, but in a way that they can control costs at the same time, thus giving Merck a competitive advantage over their competitors. Merck currently uses a red ocean strategy because they compete in an existing market already. Their goal is to beat the competition and exploit the existing demand. And now that we covered the business level strategy of Merck, now we will discuss the corporate level strategy. Merck has heavily relied on diversification as a part of their recent successes. As a result of their reverse merger with Schering and Plough, Merck has gained a research and development pipeline and international markets. Merck currently has over 50% of revenue outside of the United States. Merck practices a geographic diversification strategy by operating in over 140 countries. Merck took this necessary step towards diversification by increasing economies of scale, and patents expiring have propelled this plan. Merck's diversification level represents related constraint diversification because they're leading scientists, technology, and brand image. They also utilize vertical as well as horizontal integration to gain a competitive advantage. Merck uses an optimal structure by maintaining a multi-divisional structure, and they organize around their geographic markets. As a result of the diversification, Merck's firm performance has been very successful compared to their competitors. Now this shows the ratios of the top companies in the industry. As you can see, Merck's gross margin is considerably less than Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and Bristol. In 2011, Merck's gross margin was at about 80%, so you can see that's a pretty considerable drop-off. The return on assets, Merck and Bristol fall far behind Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. As you can see, so on and so on, Merck is just a little bit behind on every single category. The first alternative is to invest in rebuilding their brand image. 2 decades ago, Merck's name was known globally. Even people who didn't even know pharmaceuticals knew Merck's name. The idea has the potential to make Merck's name a powerhouse again, and by renouncing their name, they could reintegrate the Harvard of Pharma as they were formerly known. This should increase the customer base tremendously and earn the trust of the customers where they lost stemming from the poor strategic moves that cost them lawsuits and damaged their name and reputation. The second alternative is to successfully utilize the research and development team to implement the new strategies by rebirthing old strategies, and they should continue to strive for premium products. They are currently the world's largest spenders on the research and development, over $8.5 billion, with second place at $7 billion. The pros would be the development of premium products would exceed their competition. By implementing new strategies and utilizing their resources properly should give Merck the optimal competitive advantage. The third and final alternative is to form an alliance with Bristol Myers Squibb. This is key because Bristol is not as large as the other powerhouses, but they possess a very, very high gross margin that exceeds Johnson & Johnson by 3.8%. And this is a large feat because Johnson & Johnson is one of the top key players in the industry. Both companies could benefit by implementing each other's strengths and possibly adapting one or another's successful parts of their company strategies. The recommendation I have for Merck consists of rebirthing their brand image. This is key for any business to dominate the market value and obtain the customer's trust. By adopting a strategic plan, Merck can successfully start to increase sales compared to 2 decades ago. In conclusion, I have covered the key topics, including the key problem and minor issues, external and internal analysis, business level strategy, corporate level strategy, as well as the firm performance, the three alternatives, and the recommendation. If Merck continues to strengthen their brand image, this could possibly rebirth the company back to the Harvard of pharma. Thank you.